Problem.
Let's deal with the GOP and their pledge to America. Obviously, they're trying to strike the second sort of fire, previous to the contract with America. What do you make of this pledge in terms of what they're outlining? Should they have actually taken a pledge when they actually ran Congress when Bush was president?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, no, I mean, they didn't have control of it, so I'm just saying.
Well, a couple things. For me, I mean, it really does give plays into the Democrat narrative, because we say we want to make this about a choice, not a referendum. So now they've given us a blueprint to sort of make this a choice. This is a choice. You know, you have Democrats in our policies, or you can, in fact, double down on the Bush-era policies, which is exactly what they're talking about. More tax cuts for the for millionaires, you know, letting Wall Street run free, letting the insurance company have the power again. That is doubling down on Bush era.
Does it make sense for Republicans? First of all, when you look at the numbers, when you look at the enthusiasm gap, when you look at how well they're doing, to all of a sudden come out with this to give Democrats, frankly, something substantial to lock in on, something they've drawn up when you've been doing fairly well with frankly, less than 60 days before the election?
Well, first of all, I think you give the Republicans more credit relative to this plan.
So who wrote it?
No, it seems like a bunch of political consultants wrote it, from my perspective.
Republican political consultants.
Yeah,
okay.
But what I'm saying is, in terms of what you said, is that it's substantive. There's nothing substantive about it. As a professor, I would give them a C- at best. First of all, there is
that's on a curve.
That's on a curve. And I'll tell you why. There is no discussion in there about, for example, what are they going to do relative to earmarks, entitlement reform, a real discussion on tax reform. I don't know, maybe a discussion about a flat tax. So I think from this perspective, there is nothing substantive about the plan. It is a huge misstep.
Well, first of all, it's a little hard to have a real conversation about earmarks when Senator Thad Cochran of Mississippi is one of the biggest earmarkers there in Congress, and he's a Republican, and they certainly don't want to upset him. So there's no shock there. April?
But in this new contract with America,
it's a pledge.
I said in this new contract with America, what's happening is the White House is reacting. Though you may say it's nothing substantive, they're jumping out on the issue of health care. You know, in this country, insurance is always supposed to be assurance. And now with this new health care reform law, they're saying if indeed, the vice president just said this last week to seniors, if indeed the Republicans get a chance to repeal this, what would happen? And if they get a hold in the House and in the Senate, that they would repeal this, they would take away donut holes for Medicare. They would also take away the preventative care. And look, you know, many children are now going into age 26 being able to be covered by their parents. So they're trying to sell this. The Democrats are trying to sell this to prevent the Republicans from doing it.
Joe, isn't the real issue here, though, that if the Republicans take control even of one chamber, House or the Senate, they have the ability to move forward efforts to defund many of the health care initiatives. Because when it was passed, look, the president admitted this thing will be 2, 3, 4 years down the road. They had to continue to pass certain measures. They could still prevent health care from being put into place by holding the money.
Defunding is the way to go, because if you repeal it, you need the signature of the president, and that's not going to happen. And they know that if a bill landed on the president's desk to repeal, he would veto it. So you have to defund it, and that could be disastrous. To go back, I think the Democrats did make one big mistake this week. They should have had a major coming out of this first effort of the health care plan. These are some major things that happened. I mean, they should have made a major effort. The second thing I want to mention is that I'm really upset with quote-unquote mainstream media, because the Congressional Black Caucus, particularly Barbara Lee, issued an excellent statement on what is expected with, one, the bill for small businesses, the health care bill, and they're not getting the kind of media attention that they ought to get on all of the networks.